So this is the second part of the features of the score editor, and I want to show real quick the left zone and how to use the tools or what they are for. I think most of them are pretty self-explanatory. At first, you should use the button on the bottom, and you can here select what you wanna show or hide. You also can produce your own symbols here. Or if you want to, you can use your settings and you can move them up or down if you want this one to be shown here because you think it's more important. You just go like move it up or down. And of course, you can put these here or remove it if you want to. So you should produce your own setting here on the left side. These are the ones that I guess most of us will use. So the key feature is, of course, for selecting a key, you just click on the key you want to have, and your mouse becomes a little pencil and you click anywhere in the score and it will be shown right away. The second one is for the clefs. You have your main clefs here, like a treble clef, a bass clef, the special clef for string instruments, the percussion clef, and the tablature clef. If you want to, you click on it and your mouse becomes the pen and you just put it in where you want. But of course you can do this in different ways. As always in Cubase, there are various different ways which you can choose to get to your goal. Another way would be a double click on the clef and a new window pops up and you just can scroll through your different clefs and select the one you want to have. You can also right click on the clef and then they will be shown here. Or, like I said before, most of the things that you want to work on are shown in the right zone. So Cubase thinks if I click on a clef, I want to work on clefs, and it shows me the different clefs that I can choose and also some functions that I can apply to the clefs as well. The same works for the time signature. You just use it and put it in here. One thing is interesting. You can use this function as well to create a first bar that is not a complete bar. Like if you want to create an upbeat, you just put in a check here and you say, I want to have maybe 3 8 notes as an upbeat. So I use these here and then I click on 4/4 and put it in my second bar, and immediately Cubase realizes this is supposed to be an upbeat and puts the 4/4 time signature in the front, but I have now 3 8 notes as an upbeat. Another thing you can do, if you need a certain group of notes in your time signature, you can put it in here and it shows 2 plus 3 plus 2, and you will have this kind of time signature shown in your project. Otherwise, Cubase will always take the time signature from your project. So if you put in a signature track, all the changes that you apply there will be automatically shown in your score. Here you have your chord symbols on the left zone. They are always shown for C. So if I put in a chord here, it will be C major or maybe C minor or anything else. Like I said before, Cubase can find out which kind of chords you put in, if they do make sense by itself. That would be probably a good way to start. If you want to have a special chord, then you just put in a chord symbol like so. You click on it and open the right zone, and then you can apply all the changes that you want to your chord symbol. Of course, there's another way as well. You can double click it, a new window pops up, and here you have all the possibilities to put in changes. For example, if you need a different bass note. And one thing that is really useful is this window works for all the chords as well. So if I click on the next one, it will be shown in that window, and in my tangents I can just click in there and write stuff in. I could put brackets around it, and I click on apply and it immediately shows up here in my window. If you have put in any chord symbol, you just right click on it and go presets, and it will show different presets that you can immediately use as a starting point. That I have shown in my last video as well. If you didn't see it, check it out. It is a brief overview over the score editor. Of course, you can use different dynamic symbols. You just choose one, put it in, and if you want to apply a change to it, you use plus and minus, or right click plus and minus. You have different dynamic symbols as well. For example, a Bézier curve, which means that you can create curves the way you want it to. If you right click it, you can make it thicker or smaller, or put extra points to it if you wanna make it even more complex. You also have a dynamic symbol for changes over time. You can use this, or you could just, if you want to, put in two symbols and use a line in between them, like so. Here are different symbols to create specific articulations. For example, a fermate to produce a longer sounding note, or different accents or tremolos, arpeggios, falls, dots, and so on. One thing that is really helpful if you want to apply complex things to a note, let's say we want to have different information on one note, and I want to have the same informations on another note as well. You just highlight them, select them, you press Command and copy, and then you go to any other note, click on it, select it, right click and say put in the same features, and all the features from the note you started with will be put in there as well. This is a huge time saver and very helpful. The next tab is lines and trills. If you want to create one that is different from the one I used before. These ones, if I just put it in, it looks completely the same than the other one, but if I click on it, these ones have lines hidden, and I can expand it for as long as I want the trill to last. You can also use plus and minus again up here in your special tools row, or with a right click. Or you just grab it and drag it as long as you want to. And this works with different things. For example, if you put in some text that is important here, it will also have a tiny dot at the end, and you can drag it and a line will be shown. These melisma lines can also be worked on in the right zone. So right now I have a dotted line, but I can also use just a normal block line, and I can show at the end nothing should happen, or it should go down, or it should go up, or it should show an arrow, like do this up to here. Well, you have your octavation signs, different trills for half and whole steps. You have your dotted and block lines. You have several lines on top of each other, and of course for groups of notes that are not even. You can put in brackets, but these are not actual uneven groups of notes. It's just an optical sign that you can put in real fast if you don't want to do actual work on your notes. Otherwise, you would have to produce an uneven group of notes. You have different kind of text that you can put in. There is layout text, block text, or page text, which means, for example, if you use block text and you click somewhere, it says which kind of text do you want to use, and you could upload a text that you prepared before and it will be shown here in a block window. You can use text. That is the text I used here, and I think it is now glued to that bar. So if I apply changes to my layout and the layout would change, this text would move around with this bar. You can put in lyrics. It's pretty simple. You just click somewhere, and hit the tab button, and it will jump automatically to your next note. You have the pedal information, like hold down pedal, release pedal. This is also very important, and you can apply these changes that you do here to your MIDI notes as well. But if you have recorded an actual piano and you use the pedal a lot, it might be too much information, and you should hide these, because otherwise your whole page will probably look something like mine, and there's too much going on and people get confused, and that's not what we want if we write music. So here I put in this repeat, but the rest is still here. That I don't want, so I select it and press hide. There is also another option in the score editor which says if I put in this repeat sign, then hide everything else that is in this bar. If you click on the 3 dot symbols, another window will show up, and here is a variety of things you can choose. And of course, the formal symbols is rehearsal letters or numbers. You can put in a tempo and it will immediately put in the tempo from your project that is shown here. You have your brackets, fine sign, and of course the segno, so you can show in a lead sheet where people have to go next. And you have a chord diagrams. If you have a guitar player, you can show him how the chord is to be played. One thing that is really practical in the score editor is you can immediately convert chord symbols into a chord diagram. So if I just click on this chord symbol, right click and say produce a chord pattern, then it will be shown in the score editor right away. It also works the other way around. If I use a chord symbol and I right click on it, I can say produce a chord symbol and it will automatically show the correlating chord symbol as well. So one thing that is really practical as well is the scissors tool. It will help you really fast to apply the number of bars you want to show in one row. You use your scissors tool and click on a bar and it will automatically put the rest of these in the next row. So I have 4 bars here in this row. If I click after one, I get 1 in this line and 3 in this. Now I can use my glue tool to put different bars together. I have 1 here and 1 here. If I click on this end of the line, these 2 are put together. So you can really fast apply changes the way you want it to. So if you wanna show a scale to your student, you just put it in with whole notes, you hide the bar lines, you put in the chords, open the right zone, put in the diatonic chords like so. You highlight the chords, you right click them, you say show the chord pattern, and if they are not correct, you double click it and you can edit it in this window really easy. Of course, you can use the duplicate function. You just hold the Alt or Option key. You double click the symbol apply your changes, which are really easy. You just click what you want and done. If I now didn't work very well and it is kind of sloppy, you can highlight these and you go to Elements, Notation Elements, and put these all in a vertical line so it looks really well. This might be very practical for your students. You can do the same thing or kind of the same thing for piano players as well. You have a keyboard symbol here. Which you can put in, and you can make it as big as you want to, and then you could just print it and draw things in here like colored dots or numbers or fingers to show your student how things are to be played.